What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to a doozy of a post by none other than Donald Trump. And this was a post that he made only a few days ago where he is apparently retaliating against all the European countries that are now coming to the defense of Greenland, rightfully so, based off all the very legitimate threats that Trump has made against Greenland, threatening to use whatever force is necessary to make it part of the United States. And I guess that this has made him very, very, very upset that anyone would dare to disagree with the United States forcing another country to join us against their will. So, in other words, Trump is mad that we can't just take anything that we want. We can't just invade anyone we want. And that anybody would have a problem with that makes him very upset. So, I don't know. It's incredible. It's unbelievable that this is where we're at. This is real life. This is the leader of the United States. So I haven't actually had an opportunity to go through this entire post yet, so I want to do that right now. So let's get into it. Let's see exactly what Donald Trump had to say about all this. He says, "We have subsidized Denmark and all of the countries of the European Union and others for many years by not charging them tariffs." Oh my God. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Or any forms of remuneration? Remuneration? He picked up some kind of thesaurus he doesn't use that word in normal daily. Anyway, whatever that means. But, I mean, he's been saying this, and this is one of the most troll things, I think, that he keeps saying, that the idea that the United States, in the process of doing trade with other countries, mutually beneficial commerce and trade, and somehow he has it in his mind that means other countries are taking advantage of the United States. None of it makes any sense. Can anybody make this make sense? So we've been doing everybody a favor by not charging tariffs. Don't even get me started on... Okay, so he thinks that the United States purchasing products and services from other countries is taking advantage of us, which I truly don't understand. The United States, a lot of businesses in the United States really, really rely on imports, actually. So that's why these tariffs have largely been a complete and utter failure, particularly in regards to how he initially was trying to say that these would be very good for the United States and for us U.S. citizens. And it hasn't been. Hasn't been good. We've been teetering on the edge and brink of a recession for like almost a year now. The uncertainty is through the roof. The prices of goods and services have definitely gone up. Have you been to McDonald's lately? And unemployment is up. America, it turns out, runs a lot on imports. A lot of businesses here, especially small businesses, purchase things from other countries, import them, and then sell them again here in the United States for a higher price. And that's good for us. It's actually really good for our domestic market. I don't know. I just feel like that he doesn't understand any of this or is totally out of touch with just the normal average American and what we care about and the pain that we're in. Anyway, I don't know how we're going to get through this. This is just making me rant because it's upsetting, to be honest. I know a lot of people around the world are upset by this Greenland stuff in particular, and it's making a lot of us Americans really upset, to be honest. Now, after centuries, okay, after century, like it's supposed to sound like he is just this amazing historical figure. After centuries of U.S. oppression, I, Donald Trump, am finally making America's mark on the world. Okay, after centuries of oppression, it is time for Denmark to give back. World peace is at stake. World peace, guys. The United States has to take over other countries for world peace. You better let it. You are gonna have world peace, whether you want it or not. Whether we gotta come in with bombs and guns, we'll show you peace. We'll show you. You're gonna love the peace that we're. I mean, it's the hypocrisy, the irony. It's off the charts here. World peace is at stake, so we have to take over Greenland by force, for world peace. To say, what are we talking about? China and Russia want Greenland, and there is not a thing that Denmark can do about it. Okay, that's been the crux of his argument for this whole thing, really, that the United States needs Greenland so that we can protect it, so that it is not taken by Russia or China, because it would be really bad for us if they did. The only problem is we have deals in place with Greenland already. I think dating back to like 1951 or something, if I remember. That basically allows the United States, unlimited ability, essentially, to defend Greenland already. We have lots of military presence in Greenland. Bases, military personnel. We have that. We have been doing that for decades. There is no reason we have to own Greenland in order to defend it. No reason at all. We really. So, Greenland, Denmark currently has 2 dog sleds as protection. One added recently. He thinks this is very, very funny. I saw there's like a clip of him saying this. Like, they have 2 dog sleds as protection. Okay, you already made that joke. You don't need to, type it out again. It's not funny. Now you're just reusing your material. You already made that joke. Only the United States of America under President Donald J. Trump can play this game. He thinks it's a game. Awesome. Amazing. Thinks it's all a game. And I don't know if that's a Freudian slip or something, because I think it really does, show what his mindset genuinely is a lot of the time. This is a game that he wants to win. I think I'm just letting loose today. Because I think a lot of Americans are so fed up. This is like the final straw. There have been things with Donald Trump that I have disagreed with in the past. There's been a couple things that I thought he did that were perhaps good, actually. Not bad. This is outrage. This is so far beyond the line. This is outrageous. And it's bad because even Republicans in our government are against this. I think the best case scenario for this is Donald Trump tries to declare war on Greenland and he gets impeached and thrown out of power, because I really don't know anybody who's in favor of this here in the. Of course, there's people who voted for Donald Trump who will just follow whatever he says, whatever the next thing is, no matter what. They just have to be told what the next thing to support is, and that's what they'll do. And they'll support attacking Greenland. Crazy to think about, but I think the vast majority of Americans are totally against this. Yeah, but I think this needs to be a bigger discussion in the US. More people need to be talking about this, that we're on the brink of starting a war. But from what discussions I have seen now, people on both sides of the political aisle in the US don't like this. This is outrageous. Okay, Donald Trump can play this. Only Donald Trump can play this game. Is he speaking in the third person about himself? And very successfully at that. Nobody will touch this sacred piece of land, especially since the national security of the United States and the world at large is at stake. Again, world. Let us save you, world. We are here to save you by conquering you. Then you'll be very saved. Who? Is this not like the most cliche, like, of every person who wanted to conquer the world? Like, let me conquer you. You'll love it. You'll love me being your rule. Like, what? How? Oh, God. How long is this thing? How long? Oh my God. This post just goes on and on and on. Is there a single coherent statement in this post? On top of everything else, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, and the UK, the Netherlands, and Finland have journeyed to Greenland for purposes unknown. What are you talking about? I actually did a video about that the other day. The purposes are very known. What? Is he trying to sound like a philosopher or something here? For purposes unknown to the universe. The purpose is very known. The purpose has been made known. What are we talking about here? It's because it's not only to defend Greenland from any threat, but also as a very clear deterrence for the United States to basically say, F off, stop. You know, this isn't a coincidence that all these countries are sending military personnel. It's a message to the US. Stop. That Europe is serious. NATO is serious. They will defend Greenland. They will defend this country if it comes down to it with force. That is the message. That is the purpose. And we need to take it very seriously. This is a very dangerous situation for the safety, security, and survival of our planet. I agree. That's why we need to stop. That's why Donald Trump needs to stop and understand that what he is doing here is very dangerous for the safety, security, and survival of the planet. I know this is ironic because he is saying getting in his way is dangerous for the planet. I think what he's doing right now is dangerous. These countries who are playing this very dangerous game have put a level of risk in play that is not tenable or sustainable. It's so funny that he thinks he can do anything. Like the United States has a special privilege. We can do anything. We're allowed to attack whoever. We're allowed to threaten whoever. But nobody is allowed to do anything in retaliation. That's the rules of Donald Trump's game. If anybody dares to... He thinks that he should be able to make all the decisions for the world. Like these countries shouldn't be able to decide to go defend Greenland. Rightfully so. It's just unbelievable the level of, I guess you could say, ego or entitlement that he thinks nobody should be able to disagree with what he's doing here. That's really unbelievable, and he's proud to say it. Therefore, it is imperative that in order to protect global peace and security, strong measures be taken so that this potentially perilous situation end quickly without question. It could all end immediately if he just grew a brain and stopped. Also, if he listened to the will of the American people on this issue. There's a lot of issues going on here in the United States and a lot of debate over what we should do. A lot of crazy stuff happening here. People, that woman who was shot and killed by ICE recently, and other things. And maybe nobody knows what to do, to make America, to fix all of our problems here at home. Nobody knows quite what to do. But with this particular situation, the US threatening to invade Greenland, it is completely obvious that this is outrageous. Americans don't want this. He should listen to the will of the American people as our representative. But I obviously you feel largely powerless at this point as an American who's against this, because that's not how it works. Once the president is voted in, I mean, obviously it has to like get through Congress and stuff, but also the president has lots of power. He is the commander in chief of the military and armed forces in the United States, and he gets a lot of power in regards to declaring war and using the military, which is very scary in this situation. Starting on February 1st, 2026, February 1st, so next month, all of the above mentioned, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, UK, Netherlands, and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff. Tariffs! More tariffs! Tariffs solve every problem, don't they? Don't they? No. They will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States. This, not long ago, Trump made a announcement. He was actually bragging that imports to the U.S. were down. And he argued that the United States is saving money. We're not spending money outside of the U.S. We're not, expenses are down. We're not buying imports and stuff, which is just the stupidest. It's unbelievable. It's like he thinks the U.S. is a business where if you just reduce expenses, like you'll have higher profit margins or something. With the United States, I've already said this, imports are a very, very important part of our economy. And for a lot of countries, we buy stuff at a very great discount or a good deal. Or like, it's good that we import stuff to the U.S. and then it gets, traded, engineered. We do things with that stuff here in the U.S. to make us better and richer and progress. And the idea that he was bragging that imports are down, like it's a good thing, it really shows a lot. On June 1st, so quite a few months down the line, the tariff will be increased to 25%. So he is anticipating this could take a long time. This is the long game, all the way to June. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. That's, at least we're talking about purchasing Greenland, but rather than invading it by force. And that's another thing. The idea that we need Greenland for our national security, even though Greenland happens to have lots of land, lots of resources and minerals, and it just so happens we get that too. It just so happens we get all of the stuff in Greenland if we have Greenland. Oh, what an amazing coincidence. So that really makes one question his motivations for this whole thing. But he says the purchase of Greenland, which is, admittedly better than taking it over, but that is for Greenland to decide. And this whole situation is textbook coercion. We are coercing, we are taking Greenland's arm and trying to bend it behind their back, strong arm them, force them through threats, economic threats, that they have to sell themselves to us. This is perverted. And so far, it's been very clear from what I've seen, Greenland doesn't have any interest in selling itself to us. What a weird thing to even say. Sell itself to us. Nor should the U.S. even be offering that, by the way. We are in like $40 trillion of debt. More debt than anybody could ever pay off ever. One of the things Donald Trump promised going into office was to reduce our debt, and we'll have to take on like $700 billion of debt to purchase Greenland, by the way, if they accepted that offer. Or, like, I forget what the offer was, but it's ridiculous and so unnecessary. The US has been trying to do this transaction for over 150 years. Okay, that doesn't mean it's a good idea. Like, I don't know. People were making houses out of like mud and sticks for hundreds of years. That doesn't mean it was a great idea. It worked at the time, but is that what we should be doing now? You know? Like, you know what I mean? Just because something has been around for a long time doesn't mean it's a good idea. Many presidents have tried, and for good reason, many presidents have tried to purchase Greenland for good reason, but Denmark has always refused. You know, that is their right. It's like he gets very mad at the idea that anybody has their own free will or self-governance. They have the right to refuse that. We are not owed Greenland. It's like he thinks we are owed, like Greenland, we're owed it, which should be part of the US. That's like exactly what Putin and Russia said about Ukraine. Like, they think that they are owed Ukraine, that it is rightfully part of Ukraine. The Russia thinks they should own Ukraine, that it should be rightfully part of Russia, rather. Which the exact parallel here to me is like the US thinks Greenland should rightfully be part of the United States. It's very similar to me. Very disturbing. Now, because of the Golden Dome, the modern day weapon systems, offensive and defensive, the need to acquire Greenland is important. Okay, hundreds of billions of dollars are currently being spent on security programs having to do with the dome, including for the possible protection of Canada, and this very brilliant but highly complex system can only work at its maximum potential and efficiency because of angles, meets, and bounds if this land is included in it. What? Again, we already have deals with Greenland about, like, we can pretty much do whatever we want to defend it. It sounds like they're very open to that, so long as we don't try to take them over. So this idea that, this just sounds like made up. Like, right? Like somebody showed up to school not knowing what they're talking about for their speech, and they're like, well, you know, the dome, because of the angles, the meets and the bounds and the trajectory of the, it doesn't, we have to have it because of the angles. Like, what are you talking, what does that mean? The United States of America is immediately open to negotiation with Denmark or any of these countries that have put so much at risk. That is just, talk about annoying. He is a master troll. I'll give him that. That's master trolling, rage baiting. Like continuing to, it's gaslighting. You know that term? He's gaslighting. That's what it is. He's making it sound like everybody else is causing this problem. Like, oh, it's everyone else putting us in danger. Where the United States is literally the one causing all this. It's incredible. It's like an abusive ex-wife or ex-husband or something, like gaslighting you. That's what he's become. So he's open to negotiation. That's already happened, you know. I've seen videos of people literally living in Greenland explicitly saying they don't want any part of this. The leaders of Denmark and Greenland saying they don't want any deal. Despite all that we have done for them, including maximum protection, well, by his own admission, don't act like that's some kind of altruistic thing. Like, we are just protecting Greenland out of the generosity of, out of the goodness of our heart. By his own admission, the only reason we care about Greenland is to defend the United States. We don't pretend like we've done all this for them. This is purely selfish. This is purely for us. And he has admitted as much. So don't talk like we're doing all that over many decades. Thank you for your attention on this matter, Donald Trump. You had my attention there. I'll give you for a good 20 5 minutes. You have had our attention. And that is 25 minutes too many. It's nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's outrageous. It's Americans don't agree with this. This situation has gone so far and beyond out of control. If we dare attack Greenland and our NATO allies, I would anticipate protests in the streets of the United States. I would hope so. It's outrageous, and it is terrifying how close it feels to all that. But another part of me is trying to remain optimistic that maybe, I don't know, his plan may be to act like he is ready to attack Greenland, to coerce Greenland into making a deal for peace and a deal to sell it, which in that situation we would get Greenland through non-violent means, but at what cost? I mean, it's just such a sad situation. Like, that is not the pathway I want to go down either. That pathway is not violent, but it's like everybody would hate us. I think, unfortunately, or at least hate Donald Trump, because there's a lot of Americans who don't agree with this. Unfortunately, I think no matter what happens from here, the American reputation is very much ruined. Now it's just a question of how bad will this be? What will the outcome be? But this was an interesting development and made me very triggered, which you may have noticed. But it was good to, see what he said, break it down, and yeah, it's not good. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on what Donald Trump has said about Greenland and European countries defending it and the tariff threats, and it just goes on. And that'd be really interesting to hear, especially if you're European or outside the US, from your perspective on this. That'd be really valuable to hear. So, and if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to stuff like this, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.